In this lecture, we are going to quickly address the editing experience for the template. You may have noticed it during the creation of the navigation menu for the top bar section. The header's appearance does not match the header on the front end. For example, the menu items do not have a faint border. In the search field, the icon is not aligned to the right. In addition, the label and button should be hidden. These problems don't persist on the front end. Therefore, we are giving mixed results. So, what's the big idea? Generally, blocks have different templates for the front end and editor. In a way, this makes sense. Blocks must provide a UI for editing the content, whereas the front end does not. Therefore, we're bound to have a different set of classes and tags. Here's a quick example of a link. The HTML has been simplified for readability. In a nutshell, this is the HTML generated by WordPress. As you can see, they are completely different. The front-end version uses an unordered list. On the other hand, the editor uses a series of div tags. The classes will be different too. There are too many differences between both versions. No wonder our CSS doesn't work. This problem is mostly unavoidable. The solution is to write additional CSS for the editor. Luckily, this code can be separate from our theme's CSS. The process of fixing the editor's styles can be tedious. We must manually experiment with CSS styles to achieve the desired design. For your convenience, I'm going to provide the completed CSS. In the resource section of this lecture, I provide a link to the completed CSS. Copy the code into your clipboard. Next, let's create a file for storing this CSS. Back in your text editor, create a file called editor.css inside the assets directory. Paste the CSS into this file. We're going to keep the CSS in a separate file. It won't be necessary to load this file on the front end. The next step is to load this file. Open the setup file. Let's update the array passed into the add editor style function by including our file. After making those changes, let's refresh the editor. Our theme's design issues have been alleviated. This type of problem is going to occur for your themes, especially if they are complex. Overall, the solution is simple. You must create a separate file for handling the editor's markup. The CSS code I've provided will handle future scenarios. If you're curious about how I could figure out the styles, it mainly was experimentation. First, I had to manually inspect the document for the various elements and classes. Afterward, I experimented with different styles until I got the desired results. Let's jump into the next lecture to finish the header.